Thank you, Lasca Hirlock. And I just want to say how fantastic it is to have a Minister for Special Education and Inclusion in this room to talk about Dyslexia Month. I just think it is a commitment, it's an acknowledgement of where we are. That there is a lot of work to do, but it is a commitment to where we want to get to, and I can't think of a better person to do it. So I mean, everybody has heard of dyslexia, but I'm not sure that there's enough general awareness of what it actually is and the specific supports that people need. Dyslexia is a specific learning difficulty that affects reading and spelling skills and does affect 10% of the population. And I suppose people, we say this all the time, but people come in all sizes and shapes. But yet we still very much live in a one-size-fits-all world, and I think a lot of our work is to tailor to people's specific needs. And to me, dyslexia is just another form of human diversity, and we all have something different about ourselves. And this is always about equality of opportunity, and that I think is very much a principle that we need to strive for. So look, I know that I know that you're fighting at the moment for budget allocation, but this year 2 billion, or 25% of our education budget, will be spent on special education needs, and again, that is showing the commitment to change. What I come across is parents and schools, as you know, who have concerns, and I want to recognise groups like the Dyslexia Support Group in Dublin 15. It's a new group. They're meeting for the first time because of COVID on the 22nd of October for a coffee morning in support of Dyslexia Awareness Month and Dyslexia Association of Ireland. And thank you to Senator Lombard for arranging today and the information that we got. Inclusive education is set out in the Education for Persons with Special Education Act 2004, and provides that a child with SEN should be educated in an inclusive environment with children who do not have special education needs, unless it is not in the best interests of the child with special education needs or is inconsistent with the effective provision of education for the children with whom the child is to be educated. And I don't believe there's any issue here with the latter. And I agree with that. I agree that inclusive approach is what we want to achieve. We have a model for allocating special education teachers in mainstream schools that was introduced in 2017 based on the profile needs of the school, and that allows the school to allocate support where it's needed and without diagnosis. And again, the numbers speak for themselves at 13,600 special education teachers at the moment. But again, we have to accept that we are still trying to close the disconnect between where we want to get to versus what some children with severe dyslexia are currently experiencing. And I specifically talk about Dublin West. And the parents I speak to, and even with children in the 3rd percentile, who get support from their special education teacher, still feel that the children are missing out on an inclusive experience because they have to leave their table and they have to leave their classroom so much. And that is an issue that we have to really acknowledge, and that creates negative experience for children if they're feeling different and they're feeling left out. Now, not every child will, but the parents that I talk to, a lot of them do. And I think we have to listen to parents who are happy for their children to have access to reading classes and reading schools should their children need it. They don't see a reading class or a reading school as a failure of inclusion. They see them as an enabler of inclusion in the long term. And I know that the department has said that it no longer supports the opening of new reading schools or classes. But that is disappointing, as you know, to the parents of Dublin 15 who don't have access to either. And there is a school there, St Francis Xavier's, in Roselawn, that want to open a reading class. And there are parents that are really very much want the same. And I know that your department said that they were going to review that policy. And that is something that parents and the schools, the Dyslexia Association of Ireland, and indeed NEPS have said that in an ideal world where teachers are fully trained and schools are fully resources, and I know that's what you're working towards, that reading classes in schools wouldn't be needed, but while we absolutely need to get there, we're not there yet. And I'm asking you today then that I hope that review falls in the favour of the parents that do still want the reading classes and still do want the reading schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Currie.